Tongkat Ali and ashwagandha are some of the biggest herbs right now in the health space for increasing and improving your testosterone levels. I even heard one man once say, the only herb you can take to increase your testosterone is ashwagandha. And this video is going to give you an insight into what to look out for and the detrimental effects that might come from taking some of these herbs. What makes Tongkat Ali and ashwagandha different? They're both touted for increasing testosterone naturally, but what are the side effects of these herbs and how valid are these theories that these herbs actually do increase your testosterone? We're going to look at ashwagandha versus Tongkat Ali. And what matters the most here is human studies. If it's done in rats, there is a sign that it might lead to something positive, but for the most part, it should be done in human beings, preferably young, healthy males who don't have any pre-existing conditions or aren't overweight. Supplementing with Tongkat Ali has shown an increase of 34% to free testosterone and 15% to total testosterone in this human study. But what makes Tongkat Ali really powerful is its 4.3 kilodalton peptide. That is where you get most of the benefits. And most Tongkat Alis don't have this. Most people think the urocomanone is what needs to be focused on. But in fact, too much urocomanone is going to cause you anger, resentment, and it's going to make you more aggressive. So I would stick to below 1.5% urocomanone to make sure that you're healthy, because too much of a good thing is very possible. But in urocomanone, the 4.2 kilodalton peptide is said to be able to naturally stimulate your luteinizing hormone, which signals to your testes to produce testosterone. There's also a study that shows that older men have an increase in testosterone within 2 weeks of supplementing with Tongkat Ali. But keep in mind, these are older men who already have low testosterone. If you're one of the gym bros who always goes to the gym, tries to get that pump, looking for that extra edge to get yourself that boost in testosterone in the gym, you're going to have to do some serious research on quality, because quality is what's really going to give you that extra edge, because in most cases, the herbs are only going to have an effect for what you need them for. So I'm going to get into more detail on that when I get into ashwagandha. There have been at least 4 human studies for ashwagandha regarding testosterone levels. 2 with the branded KSM66 ashwagandha, which is very heavily marketed, and they do a very good job at marketing their ashwagandha. And then there's also the Shodan. Now, the difference between these two is that KSM66 is about 5% with analytes, which is the active ingredient in ashwagandha, and the other Shodan is about 30% with analytes. Now, what's the difference? Well, it's kind of like Tongkat Ali. If you have urocomanone, you want to find that sweet spot. You want to find that balance, the right peptides. Ashwagandha does not have the 4.3 kilodalton peptide that Tongkat Ali does, that has shown to stimulate the luteinizing hormone. And also, this is where quality is so important, because Shodan uses alcohol to extract, and then KSM66 uses milk, which is the natural Ayurvedic principle. Ayurveda has been using ashwagandha for about 8,000 years, and it has a very strong history, not only to be used orally, but also topically for wounds. However, when it comes to testosterone, there may be some interesting side effects that men want to look out for. I personally don't like when extracts are made with alcohol, because it's a little bit abrasive. It's a little bit too much, but when it's done naturally, just like a water extraction and freeze drying for Tongkat Ali, or with a milk extraction, you're going to have much more similar effects to the natural benefits of this herb that's been touted for over 8,000 years. Tongkat Ali and ashwagandha have been around in indigenous populations for thousands of years. So we're looking at some aging overweight males who are taking Shodan, which is a 30% with analytes ashwagandha. They did find a change in salivary DHEA and testosterone. But this study didn't show any differences with their estrogen levels or with their cortisol levels. There was also another Shodan ashwagandha study that showed that it was not statistically significant to increase testosterone levels in healthy young men. And then another study with ashwagandha, this time KSM66, showing that men who exercised for 90 days supplementing with 5% with analytes KSM66 did do better on their testosterone levels, showed a greater increase in testosterone compared to the men who just simply exercised, which is interesting because exercise is so crucial for improving testosterone. So both of these groups of men increased and improved their testosterone, but only one group improved more, and that was the KSM66 group. And now time for the hard truths, the side effects of taking these herbs. And I want to start off with the scariest side effect that you can get with ashwagandha, and that is serotonin uptake. There is going to be an excess of serotonin, which in the short term isn't going to be very noticeable, but over time, especially if you stop taking it, you're going to notice a very apathetic feeling. You're going to feel depressed. You're not going to feel lazy, motivated, because dopamine and serotonin work harmoniously. They work in polarity. So more serotonin, less dopamine. And if you have no dopamine, that means that you're not not going to enjoy doing things. Going to the gym is not going to feel good. Talking to girls won't feel good anymore. You'll be lazy, lethargic, and you won't want to do anything in life. So that's why a lot of men have stopped taking ashwagandha, because it has that scary side effect. And if you don't want to go to the gym, then what's the point of taking a supplement to help you gain muscle? Because these supplements work a lot better if you exercise, eat right, and take care of your lifestyle. But if you don't feel motivated to do any of those things and want to sit home and eat chips and watch TV all day, then you're not going to get a positive effect in your overall health. There could be a short-term benefit for testosterone, but in the long run, if you want to double or even triple your testosterone, it comes down to lifestyle, and it comes down to being able to be motivated to want to do things every day. There is only one study showing this in ashwagandha, showing how it impacts GABAergic and serotonin activity. This side effect is called anhedonia, and it's where you can lose desire, motivation, lose libido of all things. You think increasing your testosterone will make you more aggressive and excited and intimate and desiring intimacy and being able to wow your partner, but ashwagandha may have the opposite effect. There are thousands and thousands of men who have had the same side effects with ashwagandha, and now even people like Nutrition Library and people like Lucas from Booster Biology are discussing these terrible side effects that may come from ashwagandha. However, that doesn't mean that ashwagandha is not for everybody. So if you want to balance that with supplements, something like mucuna will be a beneficial herb. However, there is something else that you have to look out for, and that is the impact on your thyroid that ashwagandha presents. So ashwagandha will stimulate your thyroid, which is great if you have hypothyroidism. But if you have hyperthyroidism or just a normal thyroid level, you're going to get anxious, anxiety. It's going to be overwhelming. You're going to get nauseous, because this will also increase your thyroid output. So watch out for the thyroid side effect of ashwagandha as well. There's also a similar effect to how TRT will suppress your natural testosterone production. Well, ashwagandha may also suppress your natural thyroid production. Now, ashwagandha is known to stimulate the gonadotropin releasing hormone, which can help stimulate your luteinizing hormone and stimulate your testes to produce testosterone. And that is why people are touting ashwagandha as this amazing herb that increases testosterone, but they're not mentioning the more dangerous side effects that come with this powerful Ayurvedic herb. Now, there are some studies showing a decrease in cortisol with ashwagandha. However, not all studies are showing this, and some people may need a decrease in cortisol, and some people may have a healthy balance of cortisol. Remember, cortisol is important. It helps you get out of bed. It helps you start your day. It is important to have stress in healthy ways. People who are overstressed might do better, but here's my recommendation with ashwagandha. You should take it on a need by need basis. So if you are stressed out every day and you're working in a very stressful environment, then ashwagandha might be helpful in certain doses. You might be able to take it after a stressful day to help you sleep, or you might be able to take it during or after a very stressful meeting, but I would not take this every day. I would avoid taking it consistently. I would save it for special occasions, and I would use it sparingly. That's how it was used traditionally in Ayurveda. Ayurveda uses this as a medicine, not as something that people should take every day. Maybe some people might need it as their medicine to take every day. Some people may be doing good combining it with something that helps promote their dopamine, just like mucuna, but people who take ashwagandha every day have this consistent side effect where they just feel lethargic and they don't feel motivated to do anything in life. So watch out for that side effect. So the ideal situation here is to get high quality ashwagandha, preferably biodynamic or wild ashwagandha if it's even possible, and then finding a way to consume it with dairy or finding a milk extract. And then with Tongkat Ali, the side effects are also very intense if you're taking the wrong one. If you're taking too much uricomanone, you're going to be getting issues with aggression. You're going to be getting overly stimulated. You may have trouble sleeping. You may have trouble talking to other people and having a normal conversation because all you want to do is get into arguments. So watch out for that side effect of Tongkat Ali as well. Look out for anything over 1.5% uricomanone. Now, there's the other problem, which means that some people don't put enough uricomanone into the Tongkat Ali, which means it's about 0% uricomanone, which means it's not even real Tongkat Ali. It could be the leaves of the Tongkat Ali or the branches when the roots have all the benefits. So make sure you're getting high quality Tongkat from the proper area because where it's grown makes a huge difference. Make sure it is legit with the 4.3 kilodalton peptide, and also make sure there's no PDE5 inhibitors. A lot of my friends who've tried to take some off-brand Tongkat Ali have found that it actually gives them a rush. It feels good, but this might be because they have PDE5 inhibitors, which are things like Viagra and Cialis, and they put that in the supplement. So this is why people need to watch out for when they're taking Tongkat Ali. However, there's also an added bonus here. Because Tongkat Ali is such a hot herb and needs to be cycled, it is smart to mix it with something cooling, just like milk or something like pearl powder, to help with the cooling effect of the Tongkat Ali. If you take it every single day, it too will start to have an effect on you. And this effect is different than ashwagandha. Ashwagandha will start to give you withdrawals of your serotonin. You're going to feel lazy, apathetic. Taking too much Tongkat is just going to mitigate its effect over time, and it's going to feel less and less powerful, and you might get used to it. You might get overly aggressive, and it might get frustrating. But if you mix it with a cooling herb like pearl powder, it's going to have a very balancing effect, and it's going to allow you to recover and rest just as much as you can go out and take action in life. So after that comment from that dude at the gym who's like, oh yeah, bro, ashwagandha is the only way to naturally increase your testosterone, I want to make sure people are aware of the side effects of what they're taking, because these are powerful medicines and they do have side effects, and how you take them and the quality of what you're taking have a huge impact on these supplements. Yes, they both show in clinical studies to increase testosterone, but at what price are you increasing your testosterone, and how much are you increasing it? If it's just a little bit, or is it a lot, and how much do you need to make sure you keep up your lifestyle, your exercise, and your sleep routine in order to see those benefits? Because just taking an herb only gives you slight benefits. So if you see some gym bro touting this new herb trying to get an increase in testosterone, yes, it's going to be 1,000 times healthier than taking any injections, than taking anything exogenously. I definitely recommend to try Tongkat Ali and ashwagandha, but try high quality versions. You may as well spend your money on more and then use it less than try and spend your money on less and use it more, because the quality here is going to be super crucial for your overall health. I personally only take ashwagandha when I'm feeling really stressed or if I'm having issues with my personal stress. But for me, that's pretty rare because I like the excitement. I like the stress. My cortisol is in a very healthy place. It helps motivate me. So I need something a little bit more exciting. So that's why I consistently take Tongkat Ali, but I have taken ashwagandha in the past and I did notice this side effect, but luckily it went away fairly quickly, because remember, these are adaptogens. They're good for you. They're not going to hurt you in the long run, but you have to be aware that while you're taking them and after you take them, there may be some effects that you have to look out for. So to that gym bro who was like, oh yeah, bro, ashwagandha is like the best and it's the only thing you can take to increase your testosterone, man, that guy needs to read up and learn about what his side effects are and make sure that he isn't touting that misinformation, because there are different things that can help increase testosterone and it might be different for different people. People with high stress might do well with ashwagandha because their cortisol is always so high that if they take ashwagandha, it might get them into a healthy balance, versus people who want to go to the gym, who want to get that extra oomph in that workout, who want to get that extra push, should be taking something like Tongkat Ali because it is a lot more harmonious with that muscle growth and testosterone increase. So that is the overall synopsis here on these two powerful herbs. They're both great herbs, but they need to be taken lightly and you need to treat them with respect, because they do have dangerous side effects and they are things that could really mess up your life if you take them incorrectly.